Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your very first time here, or you have been here before but haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And turn on the notification bell so you know when I drop these videos like this one, along with the thumbs ups, and drop your comments. I love the comments. I love hearing how you guys are feeling, what you're thinking about. And like I said before, gives me ideas, gives me a lot of ideas. All right, well, tonight, the Knicks, the 3-game winning streak was snapped by the Memphis Grizzlies in Memphis, Tennessee. Yep, here we go. Well, I got the team stats up here, but what I want to get to is, here we go, 118-114. Knicks were once up by 15 points in this game. Just so you know, I will not be showing highlights today. Just trying to get this video out as quickly as possible. And also, sometimes on these losses, it just doesn't feel good putting the highlights up, just to be honest with you. But if you want to, there's plenty of places you can watch the highlights. This wasn't, the Knicks actually had a 15-point lead, and I didn't really think we were playing that great, honestly. But either were the Memphis Grizzlies for a pretty long stretch. The defense that the Knicks were playing was pretty on point. But something happened after they got that 15-point lead, which came off a Randle. He did a nice 2-point shot with a minute 8 left. Minute 8 left in the third quarter. The Knicks were up 96-81, and it looked like they were about to roll. Then what happens? Ja gets a 2-pointer. Then Randle misses a 27-footer step back jump shot, misses it, and they get the rebound. They come down, and Kyle Anderson, slow-mo, makes a little 1-footer. Boom, that's 2 buckets. Then Evan Fournier commits a tragic turnover. What Evan Fournier was still doing in the game in that third quarter late, I don't know. That's a question for Coach Thibs. But he was there to give up the ball. And that's exactly what he did. And then that led to a Ja dunk. And the lead went from 15 to 9. And you could just see the writing on the wall. That was the tell. As a poker player, you look for tells. And that was the tell. Once I saw that happen, I did not actually think the Knicks were going to hold on to the lead. Because if the Knicks could give up a 6 points like that within a matter of seconds, then a 9-point lead is very, very, very precarious, especially when you're on the road. On the road, you gotta put the foot on the team's necks and don't give them any air at all. And the Knicks did not. They let them have some oxygen, and they sat there on the bench, rested. The Grizzlies I'm talking about, and they came out, and they took this game away from us. It's a bummer. It's a bummer. And let's look at the stats here. You can see the third quarter. The Knicks scored 40 points in that third quarter to build that 15-point lead. But like I said, it was all undone by the last 54 seconds of that quarter. Yeah, and this is a quarter where we shot 60% overall, almost 43% three-pointers, so only 7 three-pointers attempted. There, hit 7 of 9 free throws, and 11 assists in that quarter, which was fabulous. That accounted for the 40 points. The ball was moving. Mostly everybody was contributing. Even Fournier gave us 6 points in that quarter. Randle had a nice big 12-point quarter. RJ did not have an efficient game, though this was one of his most efficient quarters. I'll show you later on. I'll show you the full stat breakdown. But you can see, plus 14 for RJ, plus 14 for Randle, plus 14 for Fournier. Burks had a nice game for a stretch there. At one point, Burks had not. The only thing he had missed was one free throw. He was 4 of 5 from the free throws. He had hit 4 of his shots. He had contributed 14 points. He was playing a nice game. He was getting hurt here and there defensively, but we got hurt in the paint. In the paint, we got hurt really badly, and I'll show you that in a second. But let's see the fourth quarter. You can see the 40 points goes down to 18 points. The Knicks scored 18 points in the fourth quarter, and that's why we lost this game. Yes, and 3-point shot completely disappeared. 1 of 5. All shots disappeared. 6 of 22. 5 of 8 from the free throw line. The Knicks just could not buy. And look at the assists. And you know why that happened? Because the Knicks stopped moving the ball. And also, I don't even really understand what the offensive scheme was in that fourth quarter. Where I've called out before in the past, we've discussed this in live streams, everything. In the fourth quarter, RJ needs to be the one initiating the offense. IQ can be on the court, and he can take that burden sometimes for spells, even Randle at times, but the primary playmaker in the fourth quarter needs to be RJ Barrett, and we did not do that. RJ was reactive. He didn't get enough looks. He put up 5 field goal attempts, but a lot of that was towards the end when they were desperate to get back, and they were jamming up the paint on the Knicks. And RJ sometimes would drive, and he'd get stuck, and he'd try to wiggle against 3 Grizzlies. Maybe he should have passed it out. He should have found someone open, but he didn't, and he would try to force a shot because also nobody was hitting shots anyway. So, and then he would get blocked. He got blocked a lot. I believe he got blocked, I think 2 or 3 times just in that fourth quarter alone. And he wasn't the only one. Randle got blocked. Look at Randle. He was beasting 1 of 5. Why they don't keep doing the pick and roll with Mitch and the lob threat and just feed Mitch for dunks? Yeah, great question. Why? Why don't they do it? I don't know. But, Alec Burks took 7 shots in that fourth quarter. Alec Burks took the most shots in that fourth quarter. Yeah, so you can see why the Knicks lost. We go back here, and now I'm going to show you a painful moment. Look at that face on RJ. That's not the face of a happy man, and that face makes me happy. That shows me how badly this guy loves to win, how much he needs to win. Don't lose that, RJ. Keep holding on to that burning desire. You will be the one that will guide us through this darkness. Even though Randle has been balling, and he actually played a very great game for the first 3 quarters, but in that fourth quarter, when we needed him and we needed RJ, they both did not come through. Nope. You can see it right here. There's the game flow. We had that nice little 15-point lead, but then, surrendered those 6 points right at the close of the third quarter, and then pretty much it was a steady progression by the Memphis Grizzlies, just applying pressure to the Knicks, getting into the paint, getting us into foul troubles. I believe Taj fouled out. Mitch had 5 fouls. Sims only played 6 minutes for some reason, but there you go. That's what happened right there. It's a bummer because it would have been nice. It would have been nice to have gotten this win. It would have been 4 in a row. But in terms of meeting the criteria about whether an actual push for the play-in should be taken seriously in any way, I said earlier in this week that the Knicks needed to win one of these 2 games, either the Dallas game or the Memphis game. And they almost won both. They destroyed the Mavericks, and they had a 15-point lead here. So the Knicks are doing a lot right lately. Yes, they are. But they get thrown off course fairly easily sometimes. Sometimes they get thrown off course, and tonight it happened. For one, before we get to that, look at RJ needed 25 field goal attempts just to give you 23 points. That is not efficient. This is not what we need. We want efficient. We want efficient RJ. But look at the minutes load. 40 minutes for RJ, 40 minutes for Randle. And I've shown you those videos that show how the more minutes they play, the diminishing returns. Actually, I'm going to put out another one about that, really to show you guys exactly the way it actually works. The numbers work. Because here, look at Randle, 27 attempts but he gave you a nice 36 points, 11 of 27. That's not that efficient. I'm not sure what the actual percentage. What is that? The actual percentage. But anyway, it's not healthy. But 12, he had a nice double-double, 36, 12, and 6 assists. He was moving the ball around. Fournier had 4 assists, 12 points, 3 of 8, 3 of 7, 29 minutes. Thing is, we're down. We lost Cam. Obi, Obi flirted with the idea of playing tonight, but then he was held out, and no Grimes yet. So we're down 3 key players. 3 key young players that we could have really used tonight. Taj 15 minutes but fouled out, 4 points. Emmanuel quickly. Yeah, Emmanuel played a nice game. He played a nice game. I wish he had been able to be more of an offensive like spark plug in that fourth quarter. He hit one 3-pointer that kind of like stopped the onslaught of the Grizzlies, and the Knicks held on to like a 1-point lead for a decent stretch. As you can see here, there you go, during the fourth quarter. During that middle fourth quarter period, that was thankfully to an IQ 3-pointer, but then that was it. He only put up one 3-pointer. Why Burks put up 7 shots in that fourth quarter and it wasn't quickly, those are questions for Tom Thibodeau. Now here you can see the plus minus. Randle was a plus 5. Burks was actually a minus 11. Fournier, plus 16. Tonight's plus minus is bizarro land. Totally bizarre. RJ, plus 6. But Sims was a minus 6. Gibson, a minus 5. Deuce played 11 minutes, I believe. Yeah, 11 minutes. He did have one look. Didn't make it. I wish he'd be a little more aggressive offensively. We do need that. Of course, his defense is key. But we need him to give us some offense too. It'd be nice when that starts kind of coming together. He was a minus 7, but look at quickly, was a minus 14. The bench did not hold up their end tonight, and that ultimately is what cost the Knicks the game. Sadly, which is different than it's been normally, but the bench recently has been a little more inconsistent, but it's also very depleted. So these are the issues with the Knicks right now. However, they gave a pretty tremendous effort for 3 quarters and for a good part of the fourth quarter, but they just could not hold the Grizzlies off in the paint. Look at first of all, the Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson Jr., I believe, it doesn't say here, he had I think 4 or 5 blocks. I mean, they owned us. They blocked everything. They were blocking shots left and right. Jaren Jackson Jr. was getting tons of blocks. Steve Adams and Brandon Clark. Those 3 guys, they're really long. They're active. They're athletic, except for Adams. But Adams has that tremendous height and tremendous instincts for blocking shots. But look at Ja. Took him 33 field goal attempts to give 37 points. So you can see why the Knicks were still in it. Nobody was lighting it up. Nobody was lighting up on this team, except Tyus Jones. He did actually give you some decent production, 4 of 6, 11 points, and Brandon Clark also. So their bench delivered. Our bench did not tonight. But you can see the 3-point field. Actually, let's get to the team stats. So the 3-point field goal, they hit 9 of 26 for about 35%. We hit 10 of 25 attempts for 40%. I wish there would have been more 3-point attempts. That's what we need. That's what we need. When the paint is clogged up, look at the paint. Even though we got 52 points in the paint, which is decent, they got 72. 70. That's a 20-plus margin for them. Wow. The fouls, we committed 31 fouls. They committed 27. There were definitely a few fouls that didn't get called, that should have been called. There was a block by, I believe it was Steven Adams on Mitch late in the game. Oh, no, it wasn't Steven Adams. It was one of the other 2 guys. It was clearly, it was like Jaren Jackson Jr. Clearly, he hit Mitch's left hand as he was going to dunk the ball, and it didn't get called. And then Mitch, he looked pretty embarrassed after that. He tried to hold his own, but he looked pretty embarrassed. The rebounding edge was about the same, even though it did seem like they got a lot of second chance opportunities, and that was because of the blocks. Yeah. Well, it wasn't really. It just the blocks end up turning out to be like turnovers almost in a way. They had 16 blocks tonight. 16. Wow. That was the difference in the game. Right there. I mean, not much more needs to be said. Their biggest lead was 12. Ours was 15. The final score was 118-114, so a 4-point difference. This was a close one. We actually, I think, in some ways, the Knicks played well. They played well tonight. They attacked the hoop in the first. They kept attacking. The rim. But then, as the minutes wore on, I think they lost a little bit of the legs, the energy, and they couldn't quite get up there as fast and with as much ferocity that it requires to fight through these physical players, because the Grizzlies are big and they're physical. And I think in the end, it got the better of the Knicks, which is unfortunate. So this was a rough loss. Would have been nice, but at the same time, we know where we're at. There's a reason why the Knicks record is what it is, 28-39. We're 11 games under 500 because the team has not been consistent, has not been closing out in fourth quarters, and the fourth quarter bugaboo came back to haunt us once again with just the 18 points. You can't win when you score 18 points in the fourth quarter. Can't win. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Hit the thumbs up, drop your comments, subscribe if you haven't yet, and also remember, on Monday, Foxy and I are going to be doing a special draft focus live stream with a March Madness slant. We're going to be looking at players who are going to be participating in March Madness and looking at which ones make the most sense for the Knicks. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of good content for you guys on that stream. All right, thank you so much for watching this. Once again, I will see you around the Knicks-Verse.